Welcome to Growing Your Firm, brought to you by Jetpack Workflow. We're here to help firms unlock the secrets to help you reach your goals faster. And now, here's your host, founder and CEO of Jetpack Workflow, David Cristello.
Hey everybody, David Cristello here, founder and CEO of Jetpack Workflow and host of Growing Your Firm podcast. Today's guest is James E. Heyward. He's the principal at Heyward CPA. We're going to cover a deep technology episode today. I was talking with James right before the interview, and we're kind of just going through his firm and everything he's using, and we started to get into, well, what else? Apps and the world of technology. And, sometimes as a vendor, we get all these questions on what other people are using for their tax or accounting or for their communications. We're going to talk a little bit about marketing technology today, what apps are working, what aren't working well. But before we dive into all that fun stuff, just want to say, hey, James, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, David. I've seen all the emails and it's like I've made it.
That sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, we're going to have a good time here. Well, before we dive into the wonderful world of apps, tell the audience a little bit about your firm, the services you provide, and then who you provide them to.
Okay, well, yeah, so Heyward CPA, we're located in Durham, North Carolina. We provide the usual tax and accounting, primarily the small businesses. We have a focus on minority-owned small businesses, try to help them out. And one of the things that we're kind of expanding about is our process. I think our process is the part that we don't advertise enough. And, we have a real collaborative team process. Myself and my director of services, we spend a lot of time really scrutinizing the work that we do for clients. And being an entrepreneur, I have that ability to look at my client stuff as if I own the place. So that's a lot of what I try to put in. If it's a questionable deduction or is that, we get into things, we kind of put ourselves in their shoes. So that's one part of our process. And the technology, we are, first of all, we're totally virtual. As of June 30th, I closed my office because we weren't using it anyway, but we are 100% virtual. So everybody works from home or wherever they are on that particular time. And that probably leads us to our conversation on apps.
Yeah, I love it. Well, let's dive right in. I think it's a great overview. And from a practice management and accounting perspective, again, I'm going to put that whole bucket of marketing tech aside.
Okay.
Let's dive into day-to-day operations, managing clients, doing work for clients. Let's run down that tech stack. What does that look like today?
Okay, so since I'm here, of course, we have Jetpack Workflow on the front end, which I'll talk about how I'm guilty of in case some of your other users out there. I don't know if anybody's ever come on here and said that, I'm probably the worst Jetpack user in the firm, by the way. I just want to put that out there. So
I actually think that's a feature, not a bug, right? Because I think sometimes we get owners that come in and, they need to know the management of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, hey, it's great if you don't have most of the tasks or work assigned to you.
Yeah.
So if you're using it the least, but your team's using it, that means hopefully you're getting the data you need and you don't have to do all the work, right?
Yeah.
That is supposed to, you have a team to help free you up. You have tools to help free you up. So hopefully that's what you mean by that. But I think that's a positive thing if you're using it the least.
Yeah, well, I'm using it the least, but it's also, we'll get into that. It's a great software, by the way. No, that's what I'm saying. So, and then for accounting, internal account, we use Xero. We've kind of moved away from QBO years ago now.
So what unpack that? So Xero, why make the move?
Well, I mean, at the time I was in the Intuit ecosystem, we had Pro Series, whatever. I just started noticing the fees going up. Then I had a client that I was doing work for and they started using Xero. And I'm like, what is this thing? And I started using it and I was like, wow, it's cleaner. It was like, to me, it was cleaner and it was easier to train people on, easier to train clients on. And I just saw it. And because I was a tech person, I was like, hey, let me try this and let me put it out there. And I just find that QuickBooks, there's still parts of QuickBooks that are outstanding. I haven't used it in years, but I just found that Xero was just an easier. And then the way they had the integrations, because if you remember QuickBooks Online, they started with the integrations. It was like they started doing it after the fact. And some of them you had to pay for, like you really had to pay for basic ones and things like that. So I know QBO has improved a lot since it was when they first tried to take it from the desktop and just put it in the cloud. They've
Yeah.
improved a lot, but I
But
just
you're
went down
sold.
this path. Yeah, I'm out
You're
of it.
sold on zero. It
Yeah.
sounds like there's no going
No,
back in the short term.
no, not in the short term. And if anything, it'd be an addition. If I have a QuickBooks group, if somebody is using QuickBooks, like if they're actually using it internally, internal bookkeeper, whatever, that's fine. But if you're coming to us wanting us to do the work, I mean, we're doing it in zero. So,
Got it. So you got Jetpack, you got zero. What else are you working with?
Drake software through Right Networks. Now, don't love it. I love Drake, but I mean it's anybody else that has Drake and using it, they know. I mean, one, the cost is serious. Number one.
What are you paying for Drake?
Well, Drake itself is cheap. I mean, Drake, the software, the license, I think is like $1,500 for the year, but it's $99 per user to access the Right Networks. I think if you use Right Networks for like QuickBooks or something, they have something, but it's $99 per user. So that's a thing. I haven't sat down and looked to see the total amount I'm spending. I think, oh yeah, it's still, even with that, no, it could be moving into the like numbers based on the number of users. So that's one place where, and I even looked at I spoke to my IT person about hosting my own server, and they were like, no, because the Right Networks was set up to do it. So you don't want to start tinkering with it, but
one less headache.
Yeah.
So Drake tax the platform itself you like, but the fees are where you're getting a little bit.
The hosting to be able to do it in the cloud. So that's if we were in one office on a desktop and maybe a local server in an office, everybody was there, no problem. It would be.
When's tax going to really reach the cloud? It feels like I've been on this journey forever. I know it's very hard. I have colleagues that are trying to solve it, and in all the jurisdictions and all the tax code you got to put into software, but people have been trying. Somebody's going to crack it one day.
Yeah, somebody. Well, I mean, Thomson Reuters, I believe theirs is in the cloud. I'm not sure about, Thomson Reuters is the only one I know personally because they call me every year, but their situation is kind of up there too. So what it'll take is when somebody more entrepreneurial or somebody.
That's a good point. I was referring to these upstarts that are trying to kind of crack the code, and there's some that try to launch and they had to pull it back. All right, so you got Drake Cloud, you got Jetpack, you got Zero. What else you got cooking on the practice management front?
Oh, so we also use a help desk software called Help Scout. And where that came from is, as we all know, the principal or the owner's email box is the place where information goes to die. So I tell people all the time, like, so some of my legacy clients that I used to one-on-one, and they might occasionally email me, and I'm like, dude, don't do that. Because even if I see it, I'm not going to react to it. It doesn't have a place to go. So years ago, I mean, this is about 5-6 years ago, we started with a Fresh Desk, but I said, look, we're going to get something so that, shared mailbox deal, so that everybody can see things that are going on with clients, so that it doesn't sit on one person's desk. And then if someone's out or someone's not feeling well, or I do have to pick something up, we have a place to go there. And it's been pretty successful. As you know, with software, there's constant implementation. You always have to implement it into your workflow. It's not like, oh, here we go and it's done. But I'm very happy with it. I mean,
are you piping in just your email, or do you have like a general inbox that also goes through Help Scout, or is every person in your firm connected to Help Scouts, like their inbox is connected to it?
No, so we have basically it's a support email. So it's a support email, and what everybody in the business for outward emails, client, no one sends email. We send emails out from support too. So everything goes out from support and comes back in. We each have individual emails, but that's for, internal stuff, or you're dealing with vendors or training or something like that. But client emails, as a rule, and it's taken a while, the change management about that took a while, goes through the support desk. It goes through the help desk. And we've had to train clients to say, hey, if it doesn't go through here, we can't guarantee we've set up kind of an SLA of about 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours. But if you send something to someone's individual box, we can't guarantee that because the person may, our process is to send it into the help desk. But, if you send it to me and like I'm out, I don't look at it. Yeah. So I will have to say it took I don't really get client emails. I have one or two people, they can't
Love
get
it.
over it. But I don't get them. And that's a that's a podcast by itself, talking about that. The people that had my cell phone, the client, when you first start.
Oh man, you got to untangle. Yeah, when you start out, you say yes to everything. Yeah, here's my number. Give me a call anytime. And then eventually, you want to get your life back as your business matures. Hey everyone, David Cristello here, of course, host of the Growing Your Firm podcast and founder CEO at Jetpack Workflow. I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, LiveFlow. Now, we know building financial models can be frustrating, time consuming, and an error-prone exercise. Well, it's time to say goodbye to manually entering financial data. Embrace automatic updates and streamline financial management. Here's the good news. LiveFlow just launched a new consolidation product. Their automated multi-entity consolidation is simple to use. You can easily map multiple unmatching chart of accounts from multiple QuickBooks Online companies into one standardized report. Now, once it's set up, LiveFlow automatically updates the consolidations in real time so you can focus on analysis using instantly updated data across those entities. LiveFlow can even consolidate financials that are in different currencies. And the possibilities don't stop there. LiveFlow empowers you with flexible, powerful reporting tools to create customized dashboards that meet your specific needs. Build executive presentations, cash flow forecasts, and more with just a few clicks. To stop grueling over manual consolidation reports, visit liveflow.io, that's liveflow.io, and use promo code JETPACK for 20% off. All right, let's get back to the show. So you got Help Scout to give you client communication sanity, Drake, Jetpack Zero. What else you got going on?
And then as a backup to Help Scout for internal, we use Slack. We've used Slack very well. So, we've just tried to clear, especially short messages. It's nothing worse than an email string that's like 30 messages. You're sitting there like, and then, it's not good. So, internal messaging, we use Slack. And it's great because there's a mobile app, so people can use it wherever they are and whenever they, wherever. So we are a Slack. We even pay for Slack. I'm not sure why I pay for Slack sometimes, but the features were good, so we actually pay for it. Yeah, no, I love Slack, man. I mean,
and then what else you got going on? So you got Slack,
we got, and then we use our phone system is Go to Connect. We use Go to Connect, so it has a full PBX on there. That's great as well. I mean, one thing I'll say is I've been in business for a long time, various businesses other than this, and the cost to get into business now is like nothing. Like you can have a full situation, like $1,000. I mean, you can have, a virtual address, in any city, like phone number. You can get the phone number in any city. It's unbelievable. I mean, really, it's really unbelievable how you can set up, and it's good and sometimes bad for our business because some of these folks think that just because they have these items, they have a business and I need an accountant. But that's different story.
Yeah.
So
well, the last one, I'm gonna feed this one to you because I haven't heard this one as much, and I was looking it up before, right when we were talking the pre-interview, was your client reporting package. So unpack that, because it looks like it's won some awards. It hasn't been so much on my radar, but I'm just a little bit out of the loop on this specific category. So walk us through that one.
Yeah, Sift Analytics. I picked up with Sift 3 years ago. They were really aligned with Xero a lot at first. I know they do QBO integration, and then you can also upload Excel spreadsheets. And ironically, it was, none of these softwares do. Anyone that's dealt with apps knows that not one of them does everything. So I just was intrigued by it. I like the interface, and I'm a big interface person because I'm always like, it's easier to explain, but it's a great software. Basically it syncs with your accounting ledger, and then it generates reports, and then you can put different formats. I mean, it has a format where it has covers on it. So it's more enhanced reporting than straight out of Xero. But what I really like they've added is the dashboard features. You can make some customized dashboards. in there and then present the dashboard to your client, and they can kind of log in and see it. You kind of share it online. It's really, I mean, I see the use of it. They have scheduled reports. You can schedule the report. So let's just say you get your ledgers done and, 5 days after the end of the month or whatever, however your close schedule is, it can automatically send a report package to your client. Easy peasy. Sounds great.
Yeah.
We got to get to that. I mean,
and this is like a competitor to like a Fathom. Is that where this sits in the market?
Yeah, it sits somewhere like that. Oh, and I forget the other one. There's been so many.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I'm so out of the loop from this category because it's just like, there's every little thing popping up in CRM project management land, but it's cool. This one looks like it's really taken storm. I know we only got a couple minutes left, but I would kick myself if we didn't dig into the wonderful world of marketing. So from marketing tech perspective, what's that look like for your firm?
So what we do a lot of, how we use social medias to support the SEO of, well, let me start with the website. First of all, the website. Our website has been built and hosted by Build Your Firm for way over 10 years now, probably 13 years.
Build Your Firm. And remind me who was because we did an interview with them.
You might have either Hugh Duffy, probably
Hugh. We did it with Hugh. Yeah, back in, it wasn't that long ago. So you're on Build Your Firm. Okay.
Yeah, we've been on Build Your Firm. Haven't had any problems with it. It has worked great for us. We have really, I must say, it has been a lead generation tool for us. Just speaking with other practitioners, but we get a lot of leads through the internet. Now, you can always say the quality of leads, but we do get, at this point, our lead generation through the internet is higher than referral. Oh,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, we just get, people are finding us. And the way it's happening is that we use social media to offset it. So we worked SEO without even knowing what we were doing. So we use a tool called Loomly that my marketing coordinator uses to do the post on social media. So she schedules the post, and that's what we use. So we use that. That covers our Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
And when you have broad-based messages, are you sending that through Help Scout?
Well, if we sell, okay, there you go. If we have messages for our client base, we use Aweber. So we use Aweber for our email marketing. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
I have so much tech I can't even remember. So that's
I guess when you get into it, there's so much always going on behind the scenes from a tech perspective. So we got Aweber, we got Build Your Firm. We did an interview with you. We'll sync that up. People can dive into that. Loomly for posting. We have time for one more. I'm sure you have a couple more apps. We have time for one more app. If somebody is listening right now and they need to hear this last one, what's the last one?
Last app. Man. Well, I'll just say our streaming service. We use something called Streamlabs Studio now. It was once called Melon, and that's what we use the live streams. We do the live stream every other Saturday. Myself and my business development guy, Corey Franklin, we do that every other Saturday. We're coming up on episode 52, so it's almost 2 years that we've been doing it. We stream on YouTube, but we do it off of this platform. It was called Melon. I've used BeLive as well. Some people use Restream or what have you, but I definitely would say, man, I could go on and on because I'm telling you, I'm a recovering app junkie. So it's like that. But what I say, video, that's our next step. We're really incorporating video both internally and externally into practice, even in our help desk aspects, to start making videos to explain common answers. So I would definitely say, those are the ones I use. I think people should explore the world of video. We use Google Meet for our meetings, by the way. We're a Google Workspace first place, so we use all Google Workspace.
I love it. James, if somebody had a question, they want to follow up, maybe you mention an app and they want to understand your implementation of it, maybe they want to pitch you on a new one, I don't know, whatever it may be, what's the best way for our community to connect with you?
Use Hello, HELLO, at Heyward CPA.
Fantastic. And if you couldn't jot down all the apps we went through today, it'll always be synced up at jetpackworkflow.com/blog. That's jetpackworkflow.com/blog. We'll link up every piece of software James talked about today. I know we probably left a couple on the table, but goodness, probably crank through maybe nearly a dozen of the applications he's using in his firm. If you enjoyed today's interview, leave a 5-star review. It helps us get the word out. And if James mentioned an app, you're like, gosh, I need to take a look at whatever it may be, or you need to share it with a fellow firm owner, please do so. That's the best way to say thank you for James coming on today's episode. James, it's been a real treat.
Yeah, David, thanks for having me. I loved it. It was great fun.
Thank you for joining Growing Your Firm, the podcast series for global, small, and medium-sized businesses ready to scale and increase profits. You can check out more podcasts by following the links in the show notes. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're listening. At Jetpack Workflow, we're all about maximizing returns for accounting firms and CPAs. Check out more podcasts on growing your firm and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.